Welcome to a Honda CB200 video. In this video the aim is to repair this crack. So this is the side covering off the left hand side of the bike, and at some point a motorbike fell onto this bike, the handle hit here and cracked the entire side panel. So the aim is we're going to remove the badge with the clips on the back and the alarm light that I had fitted on there. And then we're going to sand down this paint job and we're going to repair this. I'm going to look at a couple of options before I decide which one. So the aim is to sand this all down, examine this crack, which does go all the way through, and repair it either by gluing or by plastic welding. So join me as we repair a side panel. So I don't know if there's a proper way to remove these little clips. Sort of the only way I've done it in the past is by prising them off. Okay, there they are, and then the badge should just go through those holes, and there's the badge. So the badge isn't in too bad a shape, though. I think I am going to have a go at I might rub this down and give this a go at restoring the paint, this one on the badge to the side. So it should be all black with then a sort of a whitey cream at centre, and then silver edging to the letters and numbers on the top. So we'll look at doing that. All the muck and gunk from underneath it, and then this LED light should just push out. There we go. Might look at replacing this with one of those new automatic flashing LEDs, so I can just whack a little bulb and a little battery on that, so it just sort of flashes away. So there's that, and the badge and the clip. I'm not sure how well you'll see this, but there's the crack going down. It goes into there, and then there's a linear crack that comes down here, around here. So I need to sand all this down on this side and on this side, so I can get to the bare plastic, so I can then look at either gluing or plastic welding this crack. There's also this on this side, which I think is just the paint that's all cracked from when it got hit, but we need to explore that as well. So the next job is sanding this down, getting a bit mucky, sanding this down to plastic. There's some of the original colouring just underneath, just there, which is what we're aiming to. And I think the plastic is sort of a creamy colour, and then with the green paint from the original paint job there. The whole thing needs a good scrub and a good wash, but we'll sand it down first, get rid of this paint job, and then I'll give it a wash afterwards. Right, power sander, heavier grit, here we go. There's some of the original green colour, and there's the plastic for back to base, and there you can see the different layers of paint. So there'll be acrylic top and a number of layers of paint, 1, 2, 3, and then the base, and then the plastic. So I want to get to at least this, if not this, over the entire thing for the new paint job to take it back to that, and I need to get to the plastic to repair the crack. Why don't you come back when I've got this nearly finished? Right, I've sanded it down and removed as much of the paint as I can for now, and really cleaned up where these cracks are. So we've got this crack, it goes all the way up here, up there. So this one ends up here somewhere. There's then another one going through here, and there's this one going down here, and then that one that was in the paintwork is actually in the plastic. So it comes from all the way back here, all the way down, around, fractures into a couple of branches, and then comes down here. So we've got branch there, multiple branches. So I think I'm going to have a go at plastic welding this. So what I need to do is get a soldering iron, and I've got an old soldering iron that I use for this kind of thing. I need to drill at the ends of each of the branches of the fracture as a stop and a rest to that fracture continuing through the plastic. And then we need to get in here with a soldering iron, melt this plastic and try and fuse it back together again along each of the crack lines on both the front and on the inside, where you can really see the fracture, branch-like fractures of that. Well, hopefully you can see. So I've given it a really good scrub and a clean, pushed it in and out a little bit, so I need to let this dry off first. Inside the crack is a little bit dirty, but I don't think I can do anything about that, and that's partially why I'm thinking I'm actually going to melt the plastic and try and fuse the plastic together, because glue might not bond because of the dirt, whereas melting the plastic and actually joining it together through a melt means that hopefully the dirt either gets trapped in the plastic or comes out, as it were. So and then we'll use some cable tie, a sort of a filler rod kind of affair, to fill this in. What I first might do is actually go through with a bit of a scalpel and just sort of open this up a little bit. So yeah, I think I'll do that first. So let's get on with it. Teeny tiny drills, so using these. I don't know how much you can make out how small these are. So the aim is to get right at the end of the crack. So I don't know how well you're going to make this out. So I'm going to try and get right in to there. So next to do up here, and then do a couple more, and then what the aim is to fill these holes then with, as it were, the filler rod. Right, hopefully you can see okay. So the aim is we're going to come along this crack along here and try and stitch some of this together. Okay, now on the outside, so there's the inside. This long one in there. I'll try to anyway. So now we sort of dug into a bit. Now I need to sort of try and smooth it all off, and that's where some of this filler stuff comes in. And I'm not very good at this, but we'll see. it like that. Need to let it fully cool, and then we'll go over it with some sandpaper and see how much of a uneven surface we've got in there. But the aim is that the cable tie is a similar kind of material, and so we add the material to sort of make a lump of it, and then we can obviously then sand it nice and flush, and you'd never know it was there when it's all painted. So we'll come back when I've started sanding this. I'm going to leave it to cool for a good half an hour or so, let it all cool down, make it even off, and see if any other cracks have opened up. So yeah, back in a bit when it's all cooled. Right, it's been about 20 minutes, it's all cool to the touch, so I'm going to use a medium paper, and I'm going to try and take that plastic down. See how we go. Put some bins on first. Right, so there's that one blended back. Hopefully it won't show in the final paintwork. So, just this one to do. Now just go with a finer paper. So there we go. So that's the crack along the side there, nicely melted together. And the crack along the side there, on the face there, melted together, and it feels fairly firm. Can't feel any major bits, but of course it's only really when the paint goes on it that I'll know whether or not that's a good enough finish on it. Hopefully if I find a decent person with a decent skill in painting, they'll be able to sort of put some undercoat on that, and then blend that in a little bit perhaps, before putting a final coat on to cover that up. The inside I'm not going to touch, not going to do anything with that at all. I'm just going to leave it as it is. It won't interfere with anything, it won't cause a problem, etc., and you're never going to see it. And as a I think I'm going to leave it. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave that. It can all obviously be sprayed, etc., but that will then be a visible reminder of the crack. And my brother's motorbike, because that's the bike that fell on this one. But there we go, that's the side cover done and plastic welded. There's the other cover. So I'm going to try and find the time to do some stripping of this one down to at least the green for the person that's doing the spraying. Hopefully it costs less money in preparation time, but I don't know how much time I'll have to do that, so it may be a case of having to send that. So yeah, I hope you've liked this video. I hope you found it useful, a little bit of plastic welding, and so yeah, so if you enjoy this, please give us a nice thumbs up. Do consider hitting the subscribe button and the bell notification to be kept up to date, and do follow me along as we continue to rebuild the Honda CB200. Cheers, bye for now.